What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video over here on the channel. Now, I do want to state something real quick before we jump into this, and that is the fact of I'm gonna be attempting to do double uploads as my mainstream thing, rather than not I didn't upload at all I uploaded once last week. And that was mainly because of multiple different issues with Thanksgiving coming around the corner and stuff with the joint channel. Speaking of the joint channel, go down in the description down below. Go check out the joint channel over there. I'm there with What If Karma, Opally, What If Ellie, and Gold Reaper What If. So, if you guys are, thinking about it, go check it out. Go ahead and go over there. Hit subscribe button. Go check out Gold Reaper What If. He used to be known as What If Slayer before the whole channel situation happened. So, go ahead and go subscribe to him. But changing subjects. Yes, I'll be trying to do double uploads all this week. If I can't, I'll probably make a post about it. And if I probably can't do a singular upload, then I probably won't be able to do a double, But I don't think that'll be an issue this week. And now time to go over to Discord. Speaking of which, go check out the Discord down below in the description. Go hit the join button, Go join that Discord. I do announcements currently. If you guys want to, go join the Discord. And you guys can DM me because next week on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Central Time Zone, I will be hosting a Minecraft event. So if you guys want to be a part of that, join the Discord down below in the description and DM me. And speaking of people that joined the Discord, thank you CJ Got Pasta, Pucko, Minato, Gamergal, Dr. Pufferfish, Black Eva, Lavender, Altered Sin, NSA underscore Senku underscore no name, and Blood Moon Free 92 YT for joining the Discord. So once again, go join the Discord. We're all chill there. I jump in there, I chat, we do gaming, we play Among Us, we do tons of different things. So if you want to do any of that, go ahead and go check it out. And let's jump straight into this what if, where Izuku last left off. Izuku was badly injured. He looked towards the dungeon guardian, still staring at him with his lifeless, soulless eyes. The guardian roared a terrifying shriek, louder than anything Izuku had ever heard before during his time as a hero. Izuku tried to cover his ears, but his other arm was broken, so he could only move one. His other ear felt like it had just gotten blown out. Izuku sat there, holding his arm, as he looked towards the dungeon guardian. He realized he had no time to waste. Izuku quickly teleported behind the dungeon guardian and sent his fist careening at the guardian's back of his skull. Somehow the dungeon guardian knew and whipped around, quickly grabbing Izuku and chucking him at the nearby wall. Izuku landed straight onto the wall and looked towards the guardian. He started to summon a fire spell and send it flying at the guardian. The guardian tanked the spell and walked through. Izuku's mouth slowly started to crack a small smile. He knew he had to smile in times of danger and fear. He smiled towards the dungeon guardian as it started to slowly, creamily walk towards him. Izuku then quickly dodged his attack. Izuku was running while the dungeon guardian was hot on its tail. Izuku quickly hid behind a wall. He didn't want to have to use this spell, but at this point he couldn't think of anything else, but he needed an opportunity to use it. Izuku looked towards where the dungeon guardian was at and saw it somehow knew exactly where he was. The dungeon guardian appeared around the corner. Izuku quickly turned around and jumped backwards down the hallway. Other creatures were starting to spawn in as well, but the guardian didn't care. It murdered all of them. Nothing was left standing when the guardian was doing its work, and Izuku knew this. He quickly kept running backwards. Not even giving a second thought, Using One for All at 50%, he was able to put some distance between himself and the Guardian. But it seemed like every time he would run just slightly quicker, the Guardian would be right behind him when he turned around. Izuku eventually jumped up and tried to land a hit on the Guardian. The Guardian's tail swung. Izuku was able to brace against the attack as he was flung into a wall. Izuku coughed blood out of his mouth. He looked towards the Guardian and felt his arm was completely shattered, and knew that he was personally at an issue where he couldn't really hold out and fight too much longer. He didn't know what to do. Sorry about that. He didn't know what to do. He quickly tried to look to see if there was anything nearby, and he saw that there was a pillar, and that the roof above him seemed to be a little bit unstable. He ended up quickly jumping up and hitting the pillar, causing it to fall down and careen on the Guardian. The Guardian got slightly crushed by the pillar itself. Izuku lamented, thinking how the Guardian seemed to be kind of, well, weird. It seems to have a weakness to things that are dungeon-related, but Izuku didn't understand how he could use that to his fullest advantage. Izuku looked around and saw that there was nothing else that could really help him. The Dungeon Guardian almost sounded like it laughed as it roared, a shivering shriek that almost anyone that was in the nearby vicinity could hear. Izuku was just sitting there still and awestruck. The Dungeon Guardian tried to swing another punch at Izuku. Luckily, Izuku, actually watching the Guardian this time, knew that the Guardian was trying to attack and quickly dodged it. He then looked around to see where else he could go, and realized that there was nowhere else he could physically go currently. Izuku then decided to try to do something different, create more of a defensive approach on this. He knew if he activated the spell he was thinking of, he wouldn't be able to survive afterwards, because then the creatures would come after him and then just kill him. He understood this too well. He knew that when he had gone lying down after using the spell before, he couldn't even move. He couldn't feel anything. He felt so exhausted. Izuku quickly looked around to see what else was going on and realized that there was no other way but to use the spell. Izuku thought about it, and he knew the Guardian wouldn't leave until after either A was killed or something else. And usually when the Guardian needed to be killed, it took almost an entire S-rank familiar to take care of it. Izuku knew that just him solo... My bad, guys. Let me turn it off of online so you guys don't get notifications and stuff. I don't know how many notifications popped off before that. Whatever. Izuku knew that it took almost a full entire group, and he remembered Eyes pressuring him on to leave and not fight a Dungeon Guardian. But Izuku also knew that he was too deep to just leave. He could teleport out, but he felt like that would be very anticlimactic and be horrible for the story. Izuku looked around and looked to see what he could do, if he could do anything. Izuku sighed, and he remembered one of his one of the quirk users back when he went to the summer training camp had a telekinesis quirk. So he said, combine the minds of two to equal one. Make it in time before I'm done. Send this message to the one I know. Send it to her before I'm in a hole. Izuku quickly sent a message over towards Eyes and made a telepathic connection with her. Eyes was kind of confused because she didn't understand what was going on. And then she eventually realized that Izuku must have created a new spell. Eyes knew about Izuku's capabilities, and almost everyone else knew about it now too, so she understood. She asked, "What is it, Izuku?" Deku then said, "Eyes. A Dungeon Guardian spawned when I was fighting the dragon. I was able to take out the dragon with a little bit more effort than I would like to admit, but this Dungeon Guardian's way harder than anything else I fought. Eyes then quickly had a shock of fear on her face, which Finn kind of noticed, seeing how Finn was right next to her. Finn asked Eyes, Are you okay, Eyes? Izuku found a Dungeon Guardian. What? Yes. How do you know? What's going on? He apparently has some sort of mind communication magic now, so he can communicate with us through his mind. Izuku then said towards Eyes, and he's like, Eyes, are you there? Yes, I'm here. My bad. Finn was asking what was going on. Okay. I need you to just continue going on, but I need your help. Does the Dungeon Guardian have a weakness? I know you have fought one before, so I need to know now. Well, Dungeon Guardians don't have much of a weakness. Their main thing is that they're meant to just be there until they are slain after a dungeon is massively injured to, well, guard the dungeon. Hence the name. Okay, so I don't have any weakness to it. Because worst case scenario, I could use Mind Down. Or I can use my Black Hole spell. You mean the spell that causes you to go on a Mind Down after you use it for 5 seconds? Yeah? Okay. How about this? Can you create a spell that will allow you to teleport back to me afterwards? No. What do you mean no? The simplest fact is that I don't have a spell that will allow me to just instantaneously teleport to you afterwards. Well, what are you meant to do then? What, just go Mind Down and hope nothing murders you? I have a plan. Oh, what's this plan? I would love to hear it. Simple enough. You know, I'm not suicidal, Eyes. The idea here would be after being attacked to activate a simple shield. I should maybe Izuku, you would be Mind Down. You wouldn't be able to activate a shield. You would literally be done for. Fair. You know what? That's fair. That's a fair point. I will be done for. Yes, you will. You can't just activate a Mind Down on command. Okay, then what do you think I should do? I think you should just get out of there. Eyes, me and you both know that's not an option I can take. Why? Literally, you can just take us back down there later on and we can all fight it together. Eyes, I can't just leave this creature here to roam the dungeon. Izuku, literally no one else is going to get as far down as you are. That's a fair enough point. But I feel like it's my duty as a hero to stop it. Not as an adventurer. A hero? What are you on about? Eyes, you'll understand at a later date. I'll inform you about my past if I make it back, and when I make it back, I'll inform you about my past. Who I was before becoming Deku here, and my life prior hand to that. I'll explain it all to you, okay? Eyes was confused by Izuku's statement. She had known that Izuku was very defensive on his past, but she just heard Izuku straight up tell her that he would tell her his entire past. Everything about it would be told to her. Eyes sighed, understanding what Izuku was getting at. It was basically a promise that he will make it back and that he wouldn't just go off and die without her. I sighed and said, okay, I trust your abilities. Just please, for the love of Christ, do not die. Okay, I gotcha. Izuku then quickly disconnected the mental link between him and Eyes. He didn't know what else the spell would do. He knew it would, at base, just allow, him to communicate, but he didn't know if it shared emotions or mental or other issues that would be going on while Izuku was, fighting and possibly injured during it. Izuku knew that he could activate all 100% one for all and this creature will be gone. But he also knew that most likely that will heavily injure himself. Izuku thought that, it's better than going into a mind down. Izuku remembered how the creature was able to easily tank his maximum percentage without an issue. And that kind of scared Izuku. This creature was able to easily take down his strongest attack. There's not much else he could do for that. Izuku really didn't know what to do at this point. He didn't know how to fix it or what's going on. Izuku then decided to very safely make the idea of using a spell to double his power. Now, he doesn't remember anyone with a quirk that lets you increase someone else's quirk. Or at least, to his knowledge, he doesn't know of a booster style quirk. Izuku just sat there wondering for a second, and then he thought about it, almost like it was perfect in his head. He doesn't have to directly use quirks. Izuku had already realized this when he was trying to activate a teleportation ability, thinking that it was hyper useful and that it could be very useful in multiple different things. But Izuku just realized that he doesn't need to waste his time thinking of a certain person with a quirk. Meanwhile, the Dungeon Guardian was constantly trying to attack Izuku while Izuku was running away. Eyes had a worried look on her face when she eventually got disconnected from Izuku. Finn was very confused about what was going on still and asked, "So what is he doing? What's going on?" Izuku is currently trying to defeat the creature, but his best and quickest method will cause him to go into a mind down state. But he doesn't know anyone or any other way to do it. He said that maybe doing his one for all at 100% would maybe kill the creature, but it was debated. Izuku knew that at 50%, the dragon couldn't handle it, and then at 75, he was able to easily take it out. But that 75 basically shattered and broke his arm. He didn't know what else to do. So Izuku ended up chilling and then decided to take a different approach. He decided that his actions should be more intelligent at this point. He knows this creature's weakness is the dungeon. He was able to deduce this when the dungeon fell on the creature, and rather than trying to actually destroy the dungeon itself, the creature stood there and took the hit, almost like it was nothing. Izuku, realizing that the dungeon is the creature's weakness, grabbed a pillar. He broke it off and used the pillar to his advantage. He then broke the tip of the pillar as well, making the pillar become more of a sharp tip while the creature was chasing after him. He turned his weird spiky tipped pillar into an aggressive spear and threw it like a javelin towards the creature. The creature, unable to deflect the attack because that would break one of its basic rules, took the hit and was directly injured by it. It being actually very much so injured at this point that Izuku then turned around and was able to attack it with ease. Izuku smiled at this and he gave himself a little pat on the shoulder. He believed himself to be a very smart guy with this play he made. And granted, it was. Using the dungeon against the Dungeon Guardian. Literally, made sense. Eventually, Izuku ended up quickly attacking, keeping everything he had about him, constantly attacking. Left, right, center. He quickly whittled down the Dungeon Guardian's health, fighting from all sides. He knew that Izuku knew that his abilities were pretty effective. He knew that he should be able to fight against the Dungeon Guardian with little to no issue. Eventually, Izuku ended up finishing off the Dungeon Guardian, and then he quickly ran towards the exit. And then Izuku thought himself to be pretty dumb and decided to teleport instead. He appeared not right next to Eyes, but a little bit farther back in the party, which shocked some of the supporters that were located farther in the back. Izuku was coughing up blood at this point. Just using his quirk alone was very devastating for him. And then to add on the strain of using a spell afterwards, that also sucked. As soon as Eyes got word of a bloodied man showing up at the back of the party, like he teleported, because Izuku was almost unrecognizable by the pure amount of, blood, dirt, and sweat that covered his body, Eyes quickly rushed back there. She picked up Izuku and quickly took him to Revelia, which Revelia started to heal him. Eventually, they cleaned him off while they were constantly moving upwards. Izuku woke up when they stopped around the 18th floor. He looked around to see Eyes sitting next to him, resting her hand above his. Izuku smiled at this and gently stroked Eyes' hair as he laid back down again and drifted off to sleep. That's where I'm going to leave this off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. There's still 3 more parts in this series before I cap it off. I might do a second season of it. I don't know. It's up to you guys if you want to see a second season. And until next time, goodbye.